So today we're going to change the tube on this Hiboy Max Pro. All right, we got to undo all of those. Those are a size 4 Allen head. Do that a few more times. Okay, let's take off this removable ring. Move that over to the side like that. Pull your sticker off and take these little guys out. All right, yourself a number 17 box end wrench and take that guy off. Take this off, this little washer. It's got a little tab on it that goes in that hole. Remember that? Now let's flip it over and do the other side. Pay attention because there's a washer underneath there. So again, we're going to take this side off. Again, with another 17 millimeter wrench here. We're just going to wiggle that right out of there. Keep in mind, on the left-hand side, you don't need to take these little guys out. That's just for decoration, as nearly as I can tell. It's the other side, the right-hand side, that the ring comes off. And weirdly enough, these little bolts are not interchangeable from side to side. I made that mistake. The washer is going to come out of the right-hand side. When you pull that wheel out, this will come off. Keep an eye on it. Now this will look like a mess when you take your little removable ring off, because it's not going to come all the way off, because the wheel, although it's removed, is still wired in. I'm not going to bother undoing that or going to any great lengths. I've done this before and I know it can be done without taking that off, or without taking the wheel completely off the scooter. Take that nut off of the valve stem. I'm just using some little bent needle nose pliers to get that off. Okay, so I took that nut off, put it over there. Everything else. So we've got our tire loose. We can just push this through. I'm gonna stop recording for a second so I can do this with two hands. So pull that tire the rest of the way off of that rim towards you. Now that you got that valve stem out. Now we're going to work the tube back over the other side. I don't know why it's set up this way, that the removable ring is on the right hand side where that wire is. So we're going to maneuver this tube over that hub to and take it out the other side. And darn it, I forgot to mention that this brake, drum brake, and it will pull out the left-hand side of the wheel. See that? Now our tube is going to be able to work around that hub. I'm going to put the camera down to do this, but just work it over the hub. So just take it out of there. For those interested to know, the tube is a 10 by 2.50 / 2.75. So this is a 10-inch tube. Even though it's supposed to be an 11-inch wheel, and it is bigger, this is the size of tube that goes in it. I have my replacement tube. I decided to go with this one rather than the extra one from the front. I don't know. It looks like there's enough room for that valve stem to clear on there, the one that comes out and is bent, but they say to put the little short one on there. So that's what I'm gonna do. So anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna work this tube that I've partially inflated onto the rim there. Then I'm gonna get that tire over the top of it and get everything all back together, squish it like a sandwich with that ring, put it all back together. So after some wrestling, I got it all put together in a little pancake. You'll see how to do it when you do it yourself. It's hard to show and do at the same time. It's damn near impossible. But if you mess with it a little bit, you can get that tube over the hub from the other side, get it down in there, and put the tire on. Fuss with it a little bit, you'll get it. For those of you interested, I did not use the impact to reassemble this. I used an Allen wrench like a normal person. Okay, it's back together, and I'm going to be putting it back into the scooter. The alert viewer will notice that I used the bent valve stem tube in the end. It looks like there's enough clearance, so I'm going to go ahead and do it and see what happens. Also notice that I put this washer right here on the right hand side. I flipped the scooter over and I'm going to put that drum right back where it goes, so then I can slide the wheel up where it goes. Okay, I've wrangled it in there, and I put that washer, which acts as a spacer, on the right hand side right there. On the left hand side, can't really see it, but that drum has a little piece that slides into a channel in the frame. I can't show it, but it's there, you'll see it. Now I'm putting that washer that has a little tab on it, I'm putting that back on, and I'm putting on, it's hard to do, there we go. Putting that on, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, it's back together. I've given it a test ride. Everything seems to be in order. And yes, that bent valve stem, there is plenty of clearance, no problems at all. I'm not sure why they want to put that short straight one in there that requires the extension. That's kind of a pain in the neck, and you got to keep track of the extension. I don't like doing that. I like this better. Oh, I did inflate the tire up to pressure, then I deflated it completely, then I re-inflated it in case there were wrinkles or creases in there. My dad taught me to do that when I was a kid, so I just keep doing it because it makes sense. So anyway, that's it for the Hiboy Max Pro tire change. To recap, we took the right side ring off, taking these 6 little screws out with a number 4 Allen wrench. Take these off with a number 4, these little protectors. Underneath there is a 17 millimeter nut that you take off. Do that on this side as well. Then the tire hub assembly will slide back. If you take those off, this drum brake will come off of the hub. Now that's going to allow you to fuss around with it a little bit and pull the tube off this side, because the other side is still going to be wired. See what I mean? But this side, when you take the brake hub off, you can pull the tube through and off. Then you can feed the new one through there and put it all back together in a sandwich. It's a little bit tricky. It takes some doing, but it's totally possible, and that's my video. I apologize, it may not be a complete video, but I think you get the idea. As a side note, I couldn't get the tire liner in there in the right place and to stay there while I did everything else in the way that I changed this tube. So I had to leave it out. Darn it. Seemed like a good idea.